All right, it's game week. Everybody's got me? A lot of excitement in the air, a lot of energy in the building. It has been leading up to this. I would just tell you we're in a much improved situation at a lot of positions than we were a year ago this time. Quarterback being the main focal point during camp. We all know that. You've been asking. Everybody's wanting to know. Can't go anywhere. People want to know who the starting quarterback is. I get that. But I'll tell you this, I've been highly impressed by the improvement and the competition at this position. And I think the growth in 1 year from John Stephen Jones that he's shown us and has shown his teammates is in the track that he's on to having an incredible career here. K.J. Jefferson, his athleticism, as we've all seen, we all knew that coming in, and his playmaking ability is well ahead of where we thought he would be as a true freshman coming in here in just a short 3 weeks of camp. So his starting point was definitely much higher, and his growth through camp has shown great promise. Everything's earned in this program. Nothing's given, and Ben has earned the right to start and will be our starter week 1 going into Portland State, Ben Hicks. The competition between Ben and Nick has been impressive, to say the least, over 3 weeks. Nick has done a great job and has picked up the offense in a few short weeks and has an incredible skill set. And we're excited to watch his continued growth and knowledge of this offense and the understanding of this offense in weeks to come. But we feel very confident in Ben and his complete overall knowledge. As you would expect, Ben has been in this offense for 3 years. Been here since January. Nick has been in this offense for 3 weeks. But to see the growth of what Nick has done over 3 weeks has been extremely impressive. And I think Ben has an incredible command for everyone and where everyone should be. We're going to play a lot of young guys, and that alone was the main deciding factor. Is his ability to know where everybody's supposed to be able to get our offensive line in the right protection and do it at a pace to where the game, because of his experience, is a little bit slower. So experience and the knowledge of the offense and playing a lot of the young guys. But, this week is always about us. And it always will be about the Arkansas Razorbacks, regardless of who we play. Portland State's experienced. They are one of the more experienced teams. They have 8 offensive and 9 defensive starters back. And they have nothing to lose. They're coming in here. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to pull tricks out, specials out. They have nothing to lose. They're excited about traveling here, and I think that we're going to get their absolute best. But as I've said before, many times last year, it's about how well we can execute, how well we can play to our potential, one play at a time in game 1. And it doesn't matter who we play. It's always how we play. And I'm excited to watch this team play. I want to see us play fast. I want to see us play physical. And I want to see us play to our standard going into year 2. So with that, I know there'll be several questions, so I'll open up for questions. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
Chad, you touched on a little bit what was the deciding factor at quarterback. When did you tell the guys? What was Nick's response? And do you expect to play both guys in the opener?
Sure. Well, we've definitely got to continue to get Nick's experience up. So, the game will dictate a lot, but I do anticipate having an opportunity to play additional quarterbacks, that me and Nick. And we really started talking about this in depth Saturday night and led into Sunday. Beanie Bowl had nothing to do with it. Beanie Bowl was nothing more than a glorified game of moving on and off the field and personnel changes and situations. So we just came to the conclusion that the main deciding factor was the fact that with the amount of young players that we're going to put on the field week 1, that Ben's overall understanding of where everybody needed to be. Not that Nick doesn't have that, but Ben's got a better command naturally 3 years into it. But we've been very impressed with Nick and be able to bring him along. So.
Coach, you've coached Ben Hicks for many years. You've seen him since he was a freshman in college. How much growth have you seen from him, and in what areas, and what about his personality fits commanding this team?
Well, I think with Ben and being with him for 3 years, he's a fierce competitor, like all quarterbacks are. And, I just think that what I've seen, I've probably seen him mature more from our last year and not being with him for 1 year, and then him coming in here in January and essentially starting from ground zero with a football team and with guys on his team, and watching him having to mature. I've seen just his maturity level, and just the knowledge of the offense, I guess you would say, has really elevated. We told, back to your question, we told the quarterbacks this morning. I met with them and shared with them this morning, and and just said, hey, this is there's going to be many opportunities through the course of the season. Make sure that you're ready and you capture your opportunity.
What's the game status for Colton Jackson, Trey Knox, and C.J. O'Grady?
Colton will play. Colton should start. He'll go through workouts this week. He was with us last night. Trey Knox, we anticipate having Trey out for practice on Wednesday. And Corlin Jackson should be full go. He practiced full speed last night. CJ ran well last night. Actually, was pushing a sled a little bit. You saw him. He's running he's not at full speed just yet. We'll see. Again, Wednesday would be a great indicator for CJ.
How's the team responded to Ben since he got to Arkansas, and what's his leadership style like?
Well, Ben is just a competitor. I think he's much like all the quarterbacks in that room. I mean, they when they're on the field, they're the field general. They're in charge, and guys rally around him. They've rallied around Ben. Again, they've known Ben a little longer, since January. I do know that, watching these guys rally, I mean, they want to win. Bottom line, this football team wants to win. These players want to win, and it's about production on the field. And guys going out and producing on the field, regardless what you do, will gravitate a lot of guys to you.
Yeah, Chad, I know Myron, you got him looking at starting at right guard, but I know he's also worked first team left tackle. That's pretty good work, both sides of the ball, two different spots. What do you thought of Myron's versatility and kind of camp he's had? What kind of season you think he'll have?
Well, Myron has been extremely athletic, a great addition to our football team. We saw that last spring. I think I've been saying that for quite some time. He's got an incredible future ahead of him. He's multiple, can play several positions, very athletic, moves really well, and I think he's definitely one of our top guys, top five, and his versatility is really going to benefit him and this football team this year. He has a chance to have a really good year, really good career.
Chad, you said you would walk backwards to Fayetteville when you got offered the
I
job. You've been in it 1 year. Can it be done here? Can it get done here, and where are you in that?
Well, absolutely it can be done. It can be done, or I promise you I wouldn't be here. I can promise you that. This is, as I shared when I got the job here, this is a sleeping giant. Now, there's times that you throw cold water on somebody to wake them up, wake the giant up. I mean, you may have to throw a couple glasses of cold water on them. And so it's this is not an overnight fix. I've said that. I've said it year in since I got here. And it's traveling our great state. This doesn't happen overnight, especially when you look at a snapshot of Razorback football over the last 10, 12 years. I think that we're building something special. I've talked about building a program, and I'm committed to doing that. I think our culture is established, and it'll continue to be defined every day. So without a doubt, I would walk backwards again to Fayetteville, because this is going to be a special place.
With Nickelback, because it's not listed, would that be Brooks, and who else would you have over there?
Yeah, Greg Brooks would be our starter right there. I know he's going to get a lot. And then we'll, obviously our Sam backer would be Hayden, but Micah Smith is another one that's gotten some substantial reps there at the nickel position.
If you happen to watch Florida-Miami Saturday night, there was a lot of to unpackage in that last 4.5 minutes of the game, a lot of lack of discipline and stuff. Is that something you can immediately give lessons to your team about, and have you, and will you do that?
Well, those first games, there's always a lot of unknowns. And until you get through that first game and go through some of those situations, no matter how much you practice it, until you get out there and go through it in a game environment with a crowd in the stands, you have to learn some of those things. And so everybody goes through those game one. You definitely address it with your team, as we did yesterday in our team meeting. We did talk about that and some of the things that happened and transpired in that last 2.5 minutes. But you also talk about the resiliency of players that when they did make those mistakes Saturday night, they had to still step back up and respond and perform, and I thought that's what they did. So, yes, we did.
Coach, you've mentioned, of course, Hicks will be the starter and his overall knowledge of the offense being the reason, but just from a physical standpoint, could you maybe do a little pro and con comparison of Starkel and Hicks, and like what Hicks might do better than Nick and vice versa?
Well, I think obviously we've talked about the knowledge. I think that with knowledge comes the game slows down a little bit for you, and unless you've played this game or coached this game as long as we have, that's hard to put into someone, to the average fan, to realize what does it mean by the game slowing down. Well, it's about anticipation. It's anticipating that this is about to happen. This window is about to open up and be able to get the ball out on time. That's what experience brings you. I think from a skill set with Nick, he's got an incredible arm strength. He's got the size. He's got decent speed. And I think that his decision-making has been impressive during camp, especially trying to put this offense in 3 weeks with him. He's a studier of the game. So, yeah, I believe that there's I don't say pros and cons, but those are some of the strengths that both have. Ben is a competitor and understands, where to go with the ball at the right time.
Just to follow up on that, what's Ben's arm strength like, and what is he able to do with that talent in this offense?
Yeah, well, I think Ben's arm strength is he's got a good arm strength. I think he's accurate. I think when you look at the overall breakdown of camp and the accuracy, I think he's just been accurate with it. Does the ball jump out of his hand like it does Nick? No. I think anybody can see that. You can watch that in warm up. But that's just because I don't have to throw the ball and the ball jump out of my hand to be accurate. Accuracy is a big part of this, of what we do, and while Nick is extremely accurate, I mean, Ben is too, and I think a lot of that has to do with he understands where to go with the ball and when to get it there.
Coach, if someone asked, I've been typing that depth chart story. On the depth chart, you've got Loy and Bauer listed as co-starters or the ordeal. Have you decided on that?
Both guys will punt. Each one is a little bit better than the other in certain situations, and so for this first week we're gonna punt both of those guys.
Last year at the end of the season, we talked about that you were breaking down the offense and what you wanted to see improvement. Wide receiver was separation and take advantage of some of the matchups that you get with this offense. Where are you now especially with young receivers like Burks and Knox and Mike Woods, because those guys haven't played a lot.
Well, no, they hadn't played much at all, and so I think that not just the wide receiver position, but all the positions that we brought these freshmen in, that this has been in what we thought when we were recruiting these guys, has shown through the first 3 weeks of camp. Now, you get them on the field, you get the coaches off, you get the crowd in the stands, the band playing. You know, there's a lot of things that are going through a freshman's mind, and there's a lot of the speed of the game is really fast. They don't have the experiences that some of these guys do, that where the game is a little slower and they can anticipate a little better. But I'm excited about them. I think we addressed the needs that we needed, and I think that Traylon and Trey Knox and Mike Woods. I mean, we could go on and on with these guys. They definitely have addressed the areas that we needed. We've still got to continue to grow that, and we're not. This is not a final product. We got to continue to recruit and develop the speed that we need to have.
Chad, to follow up on that, on the freshmen, and anything over 10 for me is kind of a challenge, but it looks like you got 12 or so freshmen or true freshmen in the 2 deep. How excited and or nervous are you about that going into the season?
Well, anytime you put a true freshman out there in any, whether it's freshman in high school, freshman in college, you know, we got to make sure they got the pads in their pants the right way. They got their socks on inside out or out right side out. I mean, those are some things as a freshman that, you know, you're going to get caught up in the moment of the week. I mean, we had freshmen out here yesterday at practice, and they were probably at the top speed they've been at all year long. I mean, they're amped up. And I said, hey, time out. It's just Sunday. We got to have you ready for Saturday. But you love that. I love that about this group, because I think it makes everybody better. And they're excited. Number one, they love the Hogs. Golly, they love the Hogs. These guys we're going to put on the field, they know the impact that they're going to have. And then they've made everybody better. Our seniors have invested into their lives. So, yeah, it is what it is. And I'm excited. There's no remorse at all about putting a freshman out there. These guys have earned it. We didn't give it to them. They had to earn their way out there. And I mean, there's 12 freshmen in our 2 deep, and that's just in the 2 deep. There's going to be many others that are going to play. So we'll see how it goes.
So now that you got Myron at right guard, do you feel like you have your best 5 on the offensive line? And also, what's your confidence in that group going into the season?
Well, I'm extremely confident in them. I think we've had a really good camp. I think Myron is one of our top 5. And so I think with a healthy Austin Capps at the left guard position and Ty at center, I think that gives us our best chance going into week 1, to be honest with you. And it's like every other position. I mean, just because we put Myron at right guard doesn't mean it's a lifetime contract that he's there. I mean, it could move around. And so, as I've shared, Ricky Stromberg has been very impressive to us. Ricky's going to play, and we'll see how it continues to grow. His knowledge, his experience, as he continues to play, who knows what happens with him.
Yeah, Chad, kind of follow up on the freshmen. I think you got 9 true freshmen on the 2 deep, and that was a pretty heralded class. Did you anticipate that many of these guys being on the depth chart going into the opener? What kind of camp do you think all these guys have had? Then also, I know there's a report out there that I guess T.J. Hammonds was going to be suspended the first 4 games. Could you confirm or address that?
Yeah, T.J. won't be with us for the first 4 weeks. Did I anticipate this amount of freshmen out? I did. Yeah, I did. And you know, it's kind of part of what we felt when we were going through this team and coming through the winter conditioning and watching spring ball, and the number 12 guys, 11 or 12 guys showed up in January, these freshmen, and to watch their growth through spring and summer has put them in a position to play and contribute. So, yeah, with the amount of people we brought in January, I did anticipate this. Now, had they not all came in until June, no, I wouldn't anticipate it being this much.
I think Trey brought this up first. If the starting 11 on offense roll out there as listed on the depth chart, that's 11 different guys from last year's season opener. What does that say? What does it mean?
Well, it's one more reason as we go through our decision-making with our quarterback that it's you got a complete transformation of a group that's on the field from a year ago. So, you know, just I think it says a lot about the work that these guys have put in and the confidence that we have in them and the coaches have in them. And so I think that's a.
Last one, you've got 3 guys listed up punt returner with oars. Do you know who's going to be starting there and how you're going to handle that spot?
Traylon Burks. Traylon will return punts for us. And is that it? All right, thank you. Huh? No, that's it.